Charlie?
Let's talk.
It's the right talk.
Charlie?
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9,
WORD.
the voice of the Carolinas.
All right, welcome to the program on your Monday afternoon. It is debate day, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, hope you had a great weekend. No, Sheila and I did, absolutely. Yep, it is debate night, ladies and gentlemen. And we have got 5 candidates going to be on stage tonight at 7 o'clock, and they're going to be telling you why they should be the next senator from the great state of South Carolina. Now, that's not the only people that we have in the running for this thing. So I guess whomever it is that's putting this on, the powers that be, quote unquote, they decided that these were the people that were going to be on the debate stage. Senator Darlene Graham, the Senate heir from South Carolina, Representative Russell Fry, who will be on the show tomorrow afternoon. Mark Lynch will be on the dais. Representative Ralph Norman and former Congressman Mark Sanford and former Governor Mark Sanford will be there as well. So will we actually get to hear anything? I wonder, is anybody doing any bingo cards for the debate tonight? Somebody needs to do a bingo card. How many times Darlene Graham is going to talk about her being endorsed by President Trump? You think it's how many times? How many times do you think she's going to bring up her brother? Anybody? It's probably going to. Did you see the absolute puff piece with Trey Gowdy and Darlene Graham? I was just sitting there going, ask an actual question. Could you ask an actual question? Could you just do an actual question? Somebody, what is she going to do? Well, I'm going to vote. Now, I know Lindsay. Lindsay was all about foreign policy. And I was like, let's speed it up just a little bit there. Let's speed it up just a little bit there. So, but we got nothing. We got nothing. And what gets me regularly is this. If she were not Lindsey Graham's sister, I got a friend of mine down in Charleston, and she's like, oh, don't worry about experience. Actually, she's British. Don't worry about experience. Actually, she's got a great staff behind her. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm not voting for the staff. You mean these unelected people who are not accountable to anybody? They're the ones that are going to be making all the decisions for Darlene Graham? I don't think so. That's not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm not voting for people who've got the best staff. I'm voting for the people who have the best ideas. And as of right now, we don't know much about her ideas. That's right. If you voted for someone with the best staff, I would be the winner every single time. Because JJ is just absolutely amazing. So we got there. Even Meg Kennard over at the Associated Press, who, by the way, is no conservative, but still, she's like, hey, wait a minute, when are you going to answer questions? Now, why would Meg Kennard say that? Because Darlene Graham, oh, my goodness, she posted something about Dr. Fauci. And it was like, I wish Dr. Fauci would just answer a question. It was something like that. And I thought, yeah, how about that? Wouldn't that be something to actually answer? Why don't you come on some sort of local media, even state media, and answer some questions? But no, she goes on with Sean Hannity. She goes on with Trey Gowdy, and that's it. Okay, well, there you go. So we were supposed to find out today whether or not everybody that was eliminated from the list, right? So you had Darius Mitchell, and you had Danny Ford II. Both of them were axed because of they did not meet voting criteria. Well, was it Friday? I believe it was Friday that a judge put a restraining order on the South Carolina GOP and the South Carolina Elections Commission on keeping Danny Ford II off of the ballot. Okay? There was supposed to be a hearing today in Columbia on this. I haven't gotten any updates so far as to what is going on with that. But there you go. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. But I do know this, and I'll say it again. If Darlene Graham was not Lindsey Graham's sister, there's no way she'd be leading these polls right now. People would be asking, Darlene who? Who? Well, it really is amazing that she is, and there was a new poll out that's got her like, 30-something percent? That's huge. That's huge numbers. For what? With no experience? Oh, no, she grew government. Let me tell you something. If you double my budget, I could grow an office. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I could grow an office if you give me enough money. So anyway, I want to know what you guys think about Darlene Graham. Of course, we got the big debate coming up tonight. Give us a call, WRD Talk Line, 800-9050-989. That's also the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line. Charlie, if we're voting for staff, shouldn't we know who each and every one of them's? Yeah, absolutely. Good point, texter. I don't know any of Lindsey Graham's staff. I've never met the staff. They don't call me. They don't return my emails. I know that. So, Charlie, I saw Darlene Graham's commercial yesterday for Senate. You're right. Charlie, another bingo card entry talking about how they grew up poor. And in one, you're right. Darlene Graham said that when she goes to the store, she buys the buy one, get one. Okay? And then she says, if steak is too expensive, it doesn't go in the cart. Oh, okay. So just like everybody else, just like this is a woman that makes $160,000 a year. Lord knows how much her husband makes. Why is it all of a sudden some sort of a badge of honor for all of these politicians to talk about how poor they were? So, Charlie, we're going to get stuck with another Graham we can't get rid of. You might be right. Let's go to Mark in Liberty. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing fabulous.
Yes, sir.
And
What's up?
my impression of Darlene is Aunt B on Andy Griffith's show running for city council. And she had, I don't know if you remember seeing that show.
Yeah.
Okay, and she had all these plans that were shut down pretty quick by, what was his name? But yeah, Aunt B.
Yeah. That's what we might actually start calling her. I appreciate it. Thank Aunt D for Darlene. Let's go. Yeah, there you go. So I don't know. All right, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. We'll take your phone calls coming up next. This is the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Giving the left heartburn. Afternoons 3 to 7. It's the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9.
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Then type your message on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
800-905-0989. This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, welcome back to the program. Let's go to the WRD talk line. We'll talk to Patrick Henry 2.0 in Gray Court. How you doing, Patrick?
Hey, Charlie, how's it going?
Going good, man. What's going on?
I heard a cringy Russell Fry ad this morning, and it said, the first thing he said was, I grew up in a cinder block house with no air conditioning. Okay, well, I'm going to go vote for you right now. Oh, good. Okay. Like, what in the world, man?
It's like they're out. Everybody's trying to outpour each other.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, whatever. The other one is when Darlene Graham Nordone was doing those ads for Lindsey Graham. I thought that was weird. Doesn't anybody else think that's weird? I mean,
somebody that we had we didn't. I'll guarantee you, before that ad, a lot of people in South Carolina didn't even know Lindsey had a sister.
No, I mean, I didn't either. No offense. I mean,
and then all of a sudden she pops up, and now she's the Senate heir.
Yeah,
of South Carolina.
Crazy.
No, it is, Patrick.
Crazy.
I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Let's go to Toby and Clinton. How you doing, Toby?
Hey, I got two real quick questions. One is senators don't have auto pens, do you? Since her handlers are probably going to be making all the decisions for her.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because she's still a bit green, and I'm pretty sure I love our president. God knows I do. But he'll probably have a little input on how she votes. And the second question is, all the tariff money that's been coming in, I Googled it, which I don't know if Google's correct or not. They said all the money's going into the general fund. I know here lately they've been talking about Social Security, and the next several years we're going to probably be in some kind of trouble. Can they take some of those trillions of dollars that's coming in and put it back in the Social Security piggy bank since they've been dipping in it over the years?
I wish they would. I wish they could. Because, but that's one of those things they always try to scare us with, is Social Security. But just stop touching it. Don't touch it. Get the people that aren't supposed to be on it off of the rolls, and then there would be enough money for actual American citizens. I appreciate it, Toby. Thank you very much. So Meg Kennard she's with the Associated Press, but she's here in South Carolina. She's with their press office here. Even so, it was, I guess it's yesterday or a couple days ago, Darlene Graham put this out on X. I think Anthony Fauci should stop staring at the floor and answer the damn questions. Kind of ironic, huh? So then Meg Kennard with the AP said, respectfully, at some point, the junior senator from South Carolina will need to do the same. Lindsey Graham didn't shy away from the press. He always took questions, returned calls, etc., and still won. Hopefully, whoever is telling her to avoid us will remember that. So it's not only like this radio station that she's avoiding. It's not only it's even up to the South Carolina Associated Press. Darlene Graham is not even answering their calls. That's kind of scary to me. Let's go to Donna in Anderson. Donna, how are you?
Hey, I already got a bingo card, Charlie.
Okay.
I've got 3 issues on here real quick. This is so easy. Number 1, she said that her brother was for foreign policy, but she's for affordability.
Yeah.
As soon as she said affordability, my red flag went up. That is code for subsidies, especially with her Sheely lefty friends influence. They are going to be talking to her.
Oh, yep. Yes.
You got it. 1.
Yep.
So people don't fall for that. The second thing is the fact that, as I understand it, she's still married and she dumped her husband's last name. This is another classical, use the well-known name. A lot of people vote for what's familiar. Oh, it's a local friend, or, he's been around here for years. I don't vote based on their name. So I think it's insulting that she dropped her full name. And then the last thing is, remember when she said she wouldn't talk until the funeral was over?
Yeah.
Well, I respect that, and I would say everything is fine. It wouldn't be an issue for me, but when she then gave an interview with Sean with a bunch of softballs, she
right.
just threw her own reason. That's hypocritical.
Yeah.
So my bingo card's already full, honey.
I appreciate it. Hi, Donna. Thank you. We got a winner in the bingo. But then again, what did she say? When she showed up to file for the office, well, just give me some grace. Just give me a few days of grace. So, and that's when I said, listen, you have got to be one of two people. You've either got to be the grieving sister or you've got to be the Senate candidate. Those two cannot run in the same circle. Let's go to Richard in Westminster. Richard, what's on your mind?
Yes, Charlie.
Well,
we were so poor. We were so poor coming up, Charlie. We had to eat the pictures of fruit off the wallpaper in the kitchen.
That was.
Thank you, Charlie.
I appreciate it. That's not poor. That's po. You are po when you got to do that. Yeah, you can't afford that other OR. That's how po you were. All right, WRD Talk Line, 800-9050-989. So here we are. We've got the candidates. We think, we don't know. We still haven't heard from the court in Columbia about the Danny Ford hearing that was supposed to take place today. But what really is bothering me, and let's just go back a couple of weeks, where the South Carolina GOP, they decided to get together and reconvene the convention. So they called all of the executive committeemen into Columbia, and they had this little mini convention. Okay. And the convention was to make sure, now what I heard it was going to be about was some way to shore up and try to make sure that we had closed primaries. But it really wasn't. It was a rules change. So the rules change said that, and they gave all of this stuff. You've had to have voted in 2 of the last 3 statewide primaries, which some people believe she hasn't done. And if you haven't done that, then you either need a waiver from the South Carolina EC for state races or your county EC for county races. That, it just didn't sit right with me because it seemed to me like all of a sudden the South Carolina GOP is deciding who can run for office. Well, I would like to be able to decide who can run for office. I think the people of, I was thinking about this today. Who are the Republicans? Who are the Republicans? The NRCC, the big guys, the GOP, the national GOP, they think they're the Republicans. The states think they're the Republicans. The counties think they're the Republicans. I think we're the Republicans because without us, none of those entities exist. And I think the majority of the power should be put in the hands of the people. Let's go to Rich in Anderson. Rich, welcome.
Charlie, thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
May I share a brief historical narrative with you?
Sure, yeah. What's going on?
All right. So I'm an exiled New Englander. And in 2009, shortly after the liberal lion Ted Kennedy died, he was in the Senate for 5 decades.
Right.
The powers in the Massachusetts delegation tried to install a wildly popular attorney general, and it was an indictment on Obamacare, and they basically were using the phrase "Ted Kennedy seat," and this has got the stench of Lindsey Graham's seat. And the one thing that the campaign manager for the Brown campaign, they noticed that, and they came up with something clever, and it resonated with the voters. They said, with all due respect to Ted Kennedy, this is not Ted Kennedy's seat. This is the people's seat. So when somebody's in the Senate or Congress for decades and decades, give the people back the power.
Yeah, I agree. That's a great point, Rich. We're not voting for Lindsey Graham's seat. That's our seat. Lindsey Graham was just sitting in it. Let's go to Chris in Charlotte. Chris, what's going on with you?
Oh, Charlie.
What's up?
Don't you know that, Charlie Graham Nordine was so poor that she had to go to KFC and lick other people's fingers, Charlie. Charlie, she used to walk around with one shoe, Charlie, and when everybody's like, hey, you lost a shoe, she's like, no, sorry, I found one. I found one, Charlie. You have a good one, buddy. We'll talk to
Appreciate
you
it,
later.
pal. Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. I had to go to KFC and lick other people's fingers. All right, we'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour, every afternoon on The Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Chat with Charlie.
800-905-0989. Save it on your phone.
This is the Charlie James Show, only on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, let's go. The phone's going to talk to Walter in Easley. How you doing, Walter?
I'm doing good.
All right, what's up, man?
I had one for you. When we was growing up, we was so poor, we'd eat breakfast, and then we'd eat lunch, and then at supper time, we'd have to scrape the plaque enamel off our teeth.
That's poor. That is poor. But Darlene Graham wants you to know that she was poor. She said she only bought steak when it was on sale. Now, this is a woman that makes $160,000 a year. Don't know how much her husband makes. Don't know. Ran a state agency, almost tripled it in size. That's taxpayer dollars. But she bargain shops. So she put out a tweet that said, I do find this kind of funny. She said, oh, where is it? Yeah, here we go. I'm a mother, a grandmother, and a mother and a wife. I know how to bargain shop. I look for the buy one, get one free deals, and the shoes I'm wearing around the U.S. Capitol came from the clearance rack. I cut my own grass with a push mower, and yes, I know how to use a weed eater. Lindsay was an expert on the federal budget. I'm an expert on the family budget. Tonight, I look forward to sharing my vision for South Carolina with you. So there you go. That's what you got. What do you think? I want to know, are you going to watch that debate tonight? Let's go to Larry in Spartanburg. Larry, welcome.
How you doing this afternoon?
I'm really good.
Glad to speak with you here.
Yes, sir.
I think if I hear another story about how poor they all were, and don't get me wrong, there was a lot of people back in that situation. In my case, my dad died at the age of 42, and I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
Had 3 other siblings. Mama had to go to work in a textile plant, and the 3 boys of us, we had to take other jobs off the farm to do whatever we need to do to survive. So, I feel sure there's thousands of your audiences out there that have lost one or more of your parents in early ages.
Yeah.
So it's almost getting repetition. I almost cut the radio off every time I hear her say it.
So I have a question for you. Does that qualify you to be a senator?
Absolutely not.
No. I mean, you're in the same boat. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Larry. Let's go to Wes in Spartanburg. Wes, what's going on?
Hey, Charlie.
Yes,
when I was growing up, we were so poor. If we ever got to go to the zoo, the monkeys would feed us.
Let me throwing bananas at you. Let me tell you, no. Y'all don't know poor. Y'all don't know poor. Let me tell you how poor my family was. When we were growing up, we asked the Grahams for a loan. That's how poor we were. So anyway, again, I was so poor. I bargain shop. We look. So this is a woman. She says, I cut my own grass with a push mower. Yes, I know how to use a weed eater. Okay, that makes you just like everybody else in my neighborhood. Everybody else in my neighborhood does that. They do that too. I don't want them to be senator. Let's go to Bill in Campobello. What's going on, Bill?
Hey, Phil.
Oh, Phil, sorry about that. What's up, man?
Hey, man. Well, let's get serious now. You know, Santa Claus says checking his list and checking it twice. Well, they better be checking these ballots twice, because the industrial military complex, the deep state, and the Democrats running South Carolina are full court press to get this woman in that office.
For a reason. For a reason. Right?
The puppet strings.
Yeah.
The strings come with her?
That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know, Phil.
If she is the candidate, and I don't give a damn what nobody says, I'm voting Democrat. It took
okay.
divine intervention to get rid of Lindsay, and I'll be damned if we're going to put her back in there.
All right, there you go, Phil. I appreciate it. But this is, how did she all of a sudden become the front runner? A woman that literally a month ago, we'll go back, we'll say 2 months ago, nobody had ever even heard of. JJ's got a question. Go ahead. Which is worse, Trump's endorsement of Pamela Vett or this? I think he's gotten bitten by both of them. I think both of them are absolute snake bites to Donald Trump. Now, somebody asked me earlier, and I've asked the question myself, what happened in that meeting? What happened in that meeting? Because we heard, and you guys know this, but that's all we heard. After Lindsey Graham's death, that's all we heard was Russell Fry is the guy. He's the guy that Trump is going to endorse. Then we heard that Darlene Graham was just going to be a placeholder in that Senate seat until we had the election. There was supposed to be a clean primary. No incumbent for that seat. No incumbent. And then all of a sudden she meets with Donald Trump. Donald Trump endorses her. Then she announces that she's running for the Senate. I would love to know, what was the deal between her and Donald Trump? Because remember, this is Washington, and you don't get anything without a deal being made, especially with Donald Trump. Now, she says she's for the Save America Act, okay? But how for it are you? Are you for it so much that you would nuke the filibuster? Because that's what it's going to take. It's either going to take replacing John Thune or nuking the filibuster. Can somebody please ask her those questions tonight on the debate stage? Would you be willing to nuke the filibuster and go a step further? Would you be willing to vote to replace John Thune as Senate Majority Leader? That's what I want to know from not only Darlene Graham, from all of them. Some of these people I know exactly how they're going to vote. You know Ralph Norman, you know Mark Lynch. They're like, nuke the filibuster now. Don't know about Darlene Graham. I will almost guarantee you that Mark Sanford will say, do not nuke the filibuster. Russell Fry? Not sure. We'll see how he does in the debate tonight. And tomorrow at 4:06, Russell Fry will be on this program. So there you go. So we got that going on. Meanwhile, tomorrow also we got a bunch of primaries all over the United States, and communism is on the ballot. We'll tell you about that coming up next. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour, every afternoon on the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas. better act on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
800-905-0989. Text or call. One number does it all.
800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, from the text line, Charlie, I find it highly amusing that you think it takes some special talent or intellect to be a politician in Washington, D.C. It doesn't. Sorry to interrupt your anti-Darlene Graham programming, but just wanted to point out that if you have half a brain and a good work ethic, you can be very, very effective. Oh, okay, there you go. So that's what we want. We want half a brain people out in in Washington. Well, and listen, I have never been under the impression that politicians in general are all that impressive. I never have. Why? Because I've spoken to them on and off the record. So no. But my problem is when somebody comes along and says they're qualified, I would like to know why. Why are they qualified? Has she ran her own business? No, she ran a bureaucracy here in South Carolina. She grew that bureaucracy. How did she do that? She did that with taxpayer money. And now she's bragging about it. Well, if you doubled, I mean, if work, let's say you've got a unit at work, if they double your budget, oh my gosh, I bet you'll be able to get a lot more done. So, no, I've never been under the impression that politicians were all that intelligent. Let's go to Bonnie in Greer. Bonnie, welcome.
Hey there.
Yes.
I really feel like I'm on a merry-go-round, but it's a horse that never goes up and down.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Trump supports Pam, and then he doesn't. He supports this other guy, and now he supports this woman. I think he'd save his soul to get the Save America Act. Once it passes, doesn't each state have a right to decide whether they want to do it or not?
That is in one of the bills. That's in one of the bills. None of these have passed yet, but there is one version of the bill that says that states can opt out of showing their voter rolls. Right?
Well, like I said, I don't like merry-go-rounds. The horse doesn't go up and down.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like I'm on.
All right. I appreciate it, Bonnie. Thank you. Let's go to Tom in Fountain Inn. Tom, welcome.
Charlie, I wanted to ask you about Fry, whatever his first name is.
Russell.
My understanding is he's running for Congress and he's running for the Senate.
Yes. You are correct.
That would tell me a little bit about the character of this individual, that he doesn't like to lose. It just doesn't sound right to me.
You know what? I'm going to ask him about that decision to run for both of those tomorrow right here on the program. I appreciate it, Tom, when Russell Fry will be on with us at 4:06 tomorrow. Well, we got a lot of primaries going on throughout the United States tomorrow. We've got Kansas, Michigan, Missouri, Virginia, Washington. And yes, communism is on the ballot. Literally, I want you to listen to Bill Maher, who is kind of starting to get it. Listen to what Bill Maher said. Wait a minute, where are you? Hold on. Oh, doggone it. Here we go.
Again, let's just read the quotes. The DSA platform says you work as much as you are able and no more than needed. If that was any closer to Karl Marx's dictum, from each according to his abilities to each according to his needs, they'd be sued for plagiarism. New York Mayor Mondani once tweeted Karl Marx's words exactly. They're not trying to hide it. Their most popular influencer, Hassan Piker, thinks communism is so groovy. He laments the fall of the two of the most murderous regimes in history, the Soviet Union and Chairman Mao's China. Mondani's aide, his top aide, Sia Weaver, said, if you don't believe in the government's sacred right to seize property, it's over, and impoverish the white middle class. What? That's a goal? You know you're supposed to scare people into voting for you, right? One of the new soon-to-be Democratic Congresspeople, Darlisia Chevalier, supports seizing all properties from landlords and said, seize the means of production. Mondani has said the end goal is seizing the means of production. I think they want to seize the means of production. Now, maybe you missed that in school or missed school altogether, but that's communism.
That is communism, 100%. Even Sia Weaver, Mondani's chief of staff, she tweeted out, elect more communists. Elect more communists. The Communist Party is, listen, and they're not even hiding it anymore. When Zoran Mondani tweeted out, from those according, to their means, to those according to their needs, that's straight out of, that's Marxism. 100%. You only work as much as you need to. You only work as much as is necessary. That will collapse this country. That will collapse this country. You ask one of those fishermen, crab fishermen in the Bering Strait, do you work just as much as you need to and no more? You ask that dad that's coming home tonight from the construction site, hey, Dad, did you only work as much as you absolutely had to today? Or did you give it everything you had? That's the thing about communism. They don't want their followers to give everything they have. They want everybody else to give everything they've got. And once they've got it, then we're all going to be equally poor. So we'll keep an eye on these primaries coming up tomorrow. Could be a bad night for the Democrats. We'll see. We'll see. All right, we'll take a quick break and be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
You're locked into the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
ever happened. I know I've taken care of a lot of family
Hey, Charlie.
Let's talk.
It's the right talk.
Charlie.
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
America is back.
Yes, sir. Welcome back. I just had somebody over on the text line. All right, let me just explain something to you. If you are a regular texter and you get some sort of a statement that says that you have been unsubscribed, ignore that. Don't even worry about it. Because sometimes you know how when people will text you and you'll say, all right, reply stop to unsubscribe. Sometimes the algorithm will pick up a word and it will assume that you don't want to be subscribed anymore, and it will send you that text. Don't worry about that. You can still text all you want to, and once you text us back, everything's hunky-dory and everything's fine. So ignore that, okay? This is just the algorithm acting up. All right, WRD Talk Line, 800-9050-989. Now, we actually saw, and maybe John Thune could take a little bit of a lesson from this. We actually saw John Cornyn and Tom Tillis, two horrible rhinos, actually exercise some power. Now, they were holding up the vote for Todd Blanche to be the attorney, to be confirmed for Attorney General. And they said they did not like that weaponization fund. That was going to be a fund where you could actually, if you thought that the United States government was weaponized against you in some way, you could actually sue and get some sort of a remittance for it. Well, they didn't like that. They didn't like that one little bit because they don't want you to believe that under Joe Biden, that the United States government was weaponized, and it was absolutely weaponized. So they said, we are not voting for Todd Blanche for Attorney General as long as that is still in play. Well, the White House took it out of play now. So now John Cornyn and Tom Tillis are like, okay, now, you see, that is, and as much as I hate this, that's how you get things done. And that's how John Thune should be getting things done in Washington. But he's not. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Number one, the Senate parliamentarian. That was a Biden appointee. Get her out of there. Get a conservative one in. That's easy to do. Number two, pass the Save America Act. Oh, well, we just don't have enough votes. Yeah, you do. You do have the votes. You just got to get them. You go to every single senator in Washington and say, hey, do you like that committee that you're on? Well, if you don't vote for the Save America Act, you're not going to be on that committee anymore. In fact, we're going to give you the worst committee assignments in the history of the Senate. You're all going to be on one committee, and that's going to be the Sewer Committee. And you're going to have to sit there and listen to testimony every single day about sewers. That's what you're going to be on. Oh, you don't want to be on that committee? Then vote for the Save America Act. It's that easy. But John Thune does not want to spend the political capital to do it. You can get things done if you are courageous, and I've said this before. If you want something done, you will find a way. If you don't want something done, you will make excuses. And that's all John Thune has been doing, making excuses. This is the most common sense piece of legislation. But you get people like Murkowski who follow just think about that. I wonder how many illegal alien voters they have in Alaska. Maybe more than they want to admit. Maybe. Charlie, they don't want to fire the Senate parliamentarian because that's their excuse to do nothing. Yep, exactly right. So another question for Darlene Graham and everybody on the debate stage tonight. Are you going to go to Washington, D.C. to lead? Are you going to go to Washington, D.C. to govern? Or do you just want to sit back and complain about what the Democrats are doing? Do you want to go to Washington, D.C. to be in the minority? Or do you want to go to be in the majority? Because a lot of these people in Washington act like they want to be in the minority. Let's see. Charlie, problem is the Constitution is their Constitution within the vote for it, but they're not doing what their constituents want the vote for it, but they're not doing what the constituents want. Yeah, I agree. This is like this is not even a partisan issue with the Save America Act. This is like the most bipartisan. If you look at all the polls, Save America Act, voter ID, only citizens vote. That is like 85% of all Americans agree with that. And you can't get that passed? Good gracious. Let's go to Kathy in Simpsonville. Kathy, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. What's up?
You're talking about John Thune just saying that he doesn't have enough votes to pass the Save America Act. He does not want to pass Save America
Exactly,
Act.
yeah.
That man is getting $1.5 million in his pocket
Yep.
from different groups would that work with the immigrants
Yep.
to keep him from passing the Save America Act.
Yep.
$1.5 million is what he's getting from these groups.
That's right.
The builders, the home builders pact, he's getting several checks. Restaurant, I'm not sure what the group is, but for
Hospitality groups, yeah.
And there was another one. I've got it. I actually have it, all of this. And it's all in black and white.
Yeah.
If you look it out there, it's not that he just doesn't want to pass it, and he won't. As long as he's getting that $1.5 million, he's not going to pass that.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. Money talks in Washington. I appreciate it, Kathy. And she's exactly right. All of those organizations want illegal aliens. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming up later on in the program, later on this hour, it looks like maybe even our new head of Department of Homeland Security, Markwayne Mullin, he might be for amnesty. What? Somebody wants to know if the debate tonight is televised. Yes. The debate tonight is televised. Let me just see if I can pull that up here real quick. I did not commit that to memory, but here we go. Let's see. Where's it going to be? It's going to be on all the great media groups around the state. I can't find exactly what. Oh, here we go. They're going to be on WHNS, Fox Carolina, all their digital platforms. Columbia, they'll be on WIS, Charleston, WCSC, Myrtle Beach, WMFB, and there you go. So tonight in Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson, WHNS, that's Fox Carolina, all of their platforms. Let's go to Larry in Greenville. Larry, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. What's going on?
I just want to comment on something you said a few minutes ago about the politicians going to Washington to vote the way the constituents want them to vote.
Yeah.
I remember something that scares me about his sister, and that was in 2007. He and John McCain were pushing for amnesty, and he was asked a question at a town hall or somewhere that about how he voted in Washington. Was he voting for the people?
Yeah.
And he said, well, the people didn't vote for him to go to vote the way they wanted him to. They voted for him to go vote the way he felt like he should.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that scares me about his sister. I don't know if she's going to vote the same way.
That would be another great question for the debate tonight, Larry. I appreciate it, buddy. When we get back, they don't want voter ID, but what about if you go to the grocery store? It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
A native Georgia bulldog who bites back at big government. It's the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Charlie Speaks. You listen on your time. Get the show on demand. Text podcast to 800-905-0989. The Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All righty, welcome back to the program. Glad to have you along with us. Well, the Democrats do not want you to show ID when you vote. They just don't want to do it. They think for some reason that's racist, that black people can't get IDs. But no. It's more than that, because now it's the women that got married and changed their names when they got married. They can't be bothered to go find their birth certificate to go register to vote the first time. So we got to just do away with the Save America Act. Now, in New York City, they've got these new city-owned grocery stores. City-owned grocery stores. And what they're planning on doing is, I think Mondani said, once a month, they're going to lower the prices on some of these foods by 30%. Oh, my goodness, that is unbelievable. What a bargain. I think I will buy some. So, what a bargain for me. So, people were asking, hey, wait a minute, what's going to stop some of these people coming in from New Jersey, buying up all that stuff, and then taking it and selling it? Hey, Louie, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over to New York, you see. We're going to buy all that stuff. We're going to bring it over here to New Jersey. We're going to sell it. We're going to make tons of money. Don't even worry about it over here. But they've got a plan. The great Mondani has a plan. Let's take a listen to this.
How are you going to keep people from taking advantage of that, that deal, basically? And is there going to be a limit on the number of items that someone can take that are discounted at that level from that essential basket?
So our RFP makes very clear that this is a program for New Yorkers to be able to put food on the table, not a program for people to be able to make a quick buck through reselling. I'm going to pass it over to our EDC head, G Pack, to add some additional details.
Yes, if you look at our RFP for the operator, we are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing, and also we
Wait. You're going to have a what? What are you going to be using?
Are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing.
I'm sorry. What was that again?
Target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing, or
a library is going to be library card-esque. Yeah, you're going to have to have a library card. I wonder how you get a library card. What do you do to go? Oh, I know how you get a library card. You're going to have to show some form of ID. So no ID to vote, but you got to have an ID to go buy groceries at a city-owned. Do they not hear themselves? Do they not hear themselves? Now, what they're going to say is, well, you don't actually, and this is coming because the blowback on this is already happening. But they're going to say, wait a minute, no. You don't actually have to have an ID. You just have to have a form of ID. Yeah, you could have like a utility bill or a lease agreement or, a water bill, something like that. That's going to count as an ID. Well, all of those things are so easily forged. So easily forged. They're going to be people, let me tell you something. People are going to, mark my word, people are going to rob these stores blind. I will be surprised if next year, we'll go back a month. I'll be surprised if next July we'll probably be saying, do you remember that thing they did in New York with the grocery stores? How'd that work out? Promise you, this isn't going to work. It's been tried before. And guess what? It's always failed. Always failed. Charlie, how cruel can they always be? Black people are going to starve to death because they don't have ID. Yep, that is exactly right. Oh, married women, how are you going to be able to do that? An ID. They just get closer and closer to communism every single day. You know what would really, if you had like a Democrat voter ID card, that would probably be the best form of ID for those folks. So they're going to get robbed. Oh, they're going to get robbed so bad. So bad. They're going to go, but robbery is the reason. Theft is the reason that these things, that groceries cost. It's part of the reason groceries cost so much. I remember there was it was down in Charleston. It's kind of near the Battery, is down Calhoun Street. But they had one neighborhood where they had, I think while I was there for like 10 years, they had 3 different grocery stores. And then all of a sudden, the last grocery store left, and nobody would go back in because they were being robbed blind. They were losing money. Grocery stores only operate on about 2.5% to 3% margin anyway. You add theft on top of that, it gets really thin. Let's go to Lucy in Greenville. Lucy, welcome.
Hey, Charlie, congratulations to all of y'all over all the awards. Y'all well deserved.
Thank you.
Okay, you just mentioned, in order to fly a year ago, my husband and I had to go to get our forever ID, whatever it is, driver's license. Well, guess what? They turned me away until I came back and got my marriage license.
Yeah.
Because my name changed. Okay, so all of these people that are traveling all over the world and all over the United States, because we just came back from a wonderful trip, our son's wedding in Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Oh, nice.
But so there, all these women, and the majority of people on every plane we got in were women.
Yeah.
They didn't have to have that marriage license.
Of course they did. Of course they had to do it to get an ID. It's all just a big fat lie, Lucy. A big fat lie.
Exactly. Well, keep up the good work and keep informing all these crazy people.
I will do that. Thank you, Lucy, very much. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
"15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour, every afternoon on The Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
We need to
Let your fingers do the talking.
Text the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line at 800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, I just had a text, and I really want to share this with you because this is important to know. The texter says, Charlie, it is my understanding that those who did cast their votes in the Democratic primary are not prohibited to vote in the forthcoming special election on August the 11th. Please confirm. No, that is not the case. Here is who is allowed to vote in this primary. If you voted in the Republican primary back in June, you can vote in this primary. Number two, if you did not vote in the Republican primary in June, you can vote in this primary. If you did not vote in the Democrat primary, you can vote in this primary. So the only people who are prohibited from voting in this primary are the people that voted in the Democrat primary back in June. If you went to the polls back in June and you voted for and you got the Democrat primary ballot, you are not eligible to vote in this primary, okay? Just make sure everybody knows about that. If you did vote in the primary, Republican primary, you can vote in this one. If you didn't vote, you can vote in this one. Let's go to Chuck in Mills River. What's going on, Chuck?
Not much, man. I haven't been able to listen much. I hear you won another fantastic award, all joking aside, for the moment.
A lot of us were recognized, we shall say, the other night in Columbia, yes.
Well, I'd recognize you anywhere.
Oh, thank
Charlie.
you very much. I appreciate that.
Tara,
Congratulations. Let me tell you, Tara got the big one. She got Radio Personality of the Year, man. How about that?
Really?
Yeah, she
good
did.
for her.
Yeah, good for her.
Congratulations to Tara. And what did you win? Best looking male personality?
No, radio host. I got the Award of Merit for Radio Host of the Year. Yeah.
Award of Merit, man. You got a merit badge and everything. That's incredible. Congratulations, man. Y'all earned it. You and Tara really worked hard on this, and I don't get a chance to listen to much of Tara, but I got to tell you, man, she really, when I was able to listen to her, she really does her homework.
Yeah,
she really looks at it from a different perspective and gives you a different side of things than generally get from the rest of the shows. Not dissing you, of course, Charlie. I think your show's spectacular.
Blah.
But hey, but yeah, right. Anyway, congratulations.
Thank you.
But I wanted to talk about the New York library card food cart thing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So what's this? As you were bringing up, like. Is you gonna have to hold up your hand and swear you're not going to sell the food across city lines, or something like these?
That's going to happen. That's going to happen.
No, the people of New York are good, trusting, decent, God-fearing, honest people that never cheat on anything, just like anybody else anywhere you go. But the thing that gets me is about the whole thing is, and even Bill Maher, whom I cannot stand, he read the tea leaves properly. He saw that what he started, Bill Maher, helped create this whole liberal mishmash of socialism and communism and all that. Even now, he's calling the Democrats out, and to the point where, when I believe he interviewed J.D. Vance and mentioned that if a bunch of commies, dumbass socialists of America get elected, that his vote's going to be in play. And he caught such a ration over that from his original crowd. He's trying to pull in some conservative voters who he wants to, I guess, try to come across as a moderate, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know, but if you listen to him, he still hates us. He still hates our guts.
Oh, yeah.
But he's not stupid. He knows which side his bread's buttered on, and he's also not terribly stupid. And one thing that he has done, and I think that we all should do, is let's stop referring to them as socialists. Let's call them what they are, just commies.
Well, they're Marxists. That's exactly what they are, and we're getting closer to communism every day. I appreciate it, Chuck. I want to get to this text. Charlie, regarding the debate tonight, is there a website or place where citizens like us can put questions to be considered for the panel? No, there is not. Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I think they got all the questions already in place there. Let's go to Donna in Spartanburg. Donna, welcome.
Donald.
Oh, Donald,
Charlie,
how are you?
Charlie, it shouldn't be even a question about this voter ID. The
Right.
Democrats, you know exactly what they want to do. They want to cheat to get in there.
Sure.
But what's bothering me, the Save America Act, like Trump said, if it don't get in there, people does not realize they're going to flood the courts and make sure they always get in there, and they're going to open up the borders again just like it did. You see what happened in Spain, and you see what happened today on the internet. 45,000 converged on Dearborn, Michigan, and took Dearborn, Michigan over the Muslims.
Yeah.
We got a war, Charlie, right here inside this country. They have, our government, and people don't want to say this, has failed us. What they've done, Obama and stupid Biden open up the floodgates of 21 million illegals come in this country. And just like Trump was talking about, he's got his arm tied behind him because there's so much red tape now to get these people out of here. We have been victimized by the diversity crap.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going to happen. And this is what gets me, Charlie. On the news the other day, one of these people in the government, they said, well, the American people's got to be. What are we supposed to do, Charlie? What if I got a group of guys and went up there to Dearborn, Michigan, and started cleaning them out? They'd throw me in jail in a heartbeat.
Yeah, they would.
To protect them people.
It's an absolute invasion, Donald. I mean, that's it. And until we recognize that, nothing's going to change. Let's go to Richard in Simpsonville. Richard, what's going on?
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, bud.
I've been living in Simpsonville for a little over 30 years now, and I've watched this city council flip-flop on so many things. They're saying they want to remove those islands, and supposedly it's going to improve the traffic. Well, that was the reasons for putting them in the first place.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. You're going to have to go back. Remove what?
They want to remove the islands on Main Street in Simpsonville.
Right.
Saying that will improve the traffic. Well, they said it would streamline the traffic if we made everything in the right lane go straight and had a few little turn lanes.
Yeah.
All right, so here's another flip-flop. When I first moved here, I started going to some of these meetings, and they were bemoaning how much it's going to cost. They have to pay for the amount of acres that they use to bury their stuff at the county landfill. And somebody says, how come we don't recycle? Okay, so we started recycling. Everybody got on board. We're doing a grand job recycling. And then somebody came along and says, hey, how come we're paying somebody to recycle our stuff? Let's just send it to the landfill.
Exactly right. It all goes there. Yeah, I know. Listen, I understand. I mean, like I said, I don't care what branch of government you serve in. Not all of them are all that bright, Richard. I appreciate it, buddy. Let's go to Michael in Simpsonville real quick. What's going on, Michael?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I'd
Yes,
like to, again, get you to clarify who can vote in this upcoming election.
Okay.
And specifically, obviously, you said anybody that voted in the Republican election, last Republican vote.
Right.
And that is Democrat or Republican that voted.
Yes.
Okay. And I want to make that clear because this is what makes it important to get a Republican turnout. Because in addition, any Democrat that did not vote in either the Republican or Democrat previous election can vote in this one as well.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were a Democrat and you did not vote in the last primary as a Democrat, you can vote in this primary.
And that's what I want to make clear because it's important that Republicans turn out because I'm willing to bet a lot of Democrats are going to turn out to vote for Darling Darlene.
I would not doubt that, Michael. I appreciate it because they're looking for the candidate that can lose to Annie Andrews. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Hitting truth bombs longer than he drives off the tee. It's the Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
All
800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Well, we hadn't forgotten about the Dr. Fauci testimony the other day. That was pretty amazing. So I just want you to listen to this. This was Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on with Dana Bash over on CNN.
Protect our constitutional rights. That is the primary obligation of our country. Well, during COVID, we completely dismantled our constitutional rights. We began censoring people in violation of the First Amendment.
But I'm not, you're saying what not to do. I'm asking what to do. But I want to talk about.
That's something to do. That is the number one priority. We protect the Constitution. The Constitution was written.
Forgive me, but you're talking about rights, and I'm asking about a potential public health crisis that is coming. But I do want to
And one of the mistakes we made in the last time was suppressing those rights so people weren't being heard. The doctors who were saying you're doing it wrong were being marginalized and vilified.
Yeah,
and
because again, I really want to move on, but
of course you do. Of course you want to move on because you were one of the people that defended Dr. Fauci, period. You never questioned him. You never questioned anything about what Fauci said. He came on your show and you smooched his little behind all you could. There was nobody out there on the mainstream media, certainly on CNN, was saying, wait a minute, Dr. Fauci, what if? Are these new vaccines, are they so-called vaccines, are they really safe? They haven't been. You asked none of those questions. You protected Dr. Fauci with every fiber of your being, and shame on you, Dana Bash. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Honest views, trusted news. This is the Charlie James Show
on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Hey, Charlie.
Let's talk.
It's the right talk.
Charlie.
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Well, we're about 2 hours away from the Senate debate. What do we got? We got Darlene Graham. We got Ralph Norman. We got Mark Lynch. We got Russell Fry. We got Mark Sanford on stage tonight. I want to know, you guys send me a text. Let me know what questions would you really like to ask. Now, one of the things that Darlene Graham is running on is affordability. But I got a question for you. What control, what power does a sitting senator have over affordability? That's what I want to know. What can a senator do to make something more affordable? What can a senator do to make something, I don't know, like the price of eggs or the price of tomatoes or the price of corned beef? What can a senator do to make prices go down? Let's go to Cassandra in Greenville. Cassandra, welcome.
Hi, Charlie. Congratulations. We're all so happy.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I need, because I just heard Graham talking, and I need to comment quickly on that, but I need to follow up with Fauci stuff because I don't want it to die. I think that, they'll drag out ridiculous stories, and something this important, they're already cutting off. You don't hear much, but first of all, with Graham, with her affordability, that's the word I wrote down immediately.
Yeah.
Before, when you were talking, to me, that's just her sign to the Democratic Party that she's going to take care of them. I'm like, why is she talking about buying steak on sale? What the heck is that?
Well, she wants you to know that she came from very meager, humble beginnings.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
like nobody, we're all out here just like, no, you know what? No, I'm not getting the steak. It's on sale. I'll wait till tomorrow.
Yes.
You know, when they bring the prices back up.
And it's like, I'm sorry, that's not our country's big problem. The SAVE Act is the problem. We need fair elections.
Yeah.
But if I may, for Fauci, because it's been driving me crazy, he's responsible for the murder of millions of people.
Sure.
And when he was doing his testifying with his Fifth Amendment, I kept waiting for one of the senators to hear word of them saying, why aren't you finishing that statement with, on the grounds that it might incriminate me? And I mentioned this to a friend who had a high school kid, and he said, well, I never heard that. And I said, no, you didn't. He made sure to make his statement without the final line of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that drove me crazy. But also a few things here. Webster Dictionary had to change the definition of vaccine.
Yep.
Give me a break. My husband was in the hospital with heart surgery, and I was not allowed to visit. So, yeah. I met my new grandchild from my front door. They were not allowed to walk up my walk all the way to the house. That's how I met, and I wasn't allowed to go to the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah. And when I was in hospital rehab during that period, my children couldn't come in. They were outside the window. I was on the first floor, and my daughter actually did what do you call that? Not a flip-flop, but like a flip-flop for me.
Yeah.
And her husband came and put his hand. We held hands through the glass. The way you see pictures, we actually did that. And my husband took a picture of that handprint for me because I said, every day that's what I would look at. I would look at that handprint. My cousin died from the clot. No funeral was allowed. My other daughter's boyfriend had the clot within 2 weeks of getting the jab, banged his head numerous times in public, and ended up as a vegetable, totally destroyed his brain. And by the way, they were not collecting any data until after 2 weeks, because if you had a reaction within the first 2 weeks, they didn't count that. So he wasn't in those statistics. My sister was hit and pushed by a younger woman for not wearing a mask. She had been in the store and purchased a carpet and came outside. She had a mask on in the store, came out and was waiting for her daughter to pick her up to drive from the parking lot, holding this big, carpet,
right.
and pulled her mask down. and another woman came and shoved her and pushed her and was yelling at her for not wearing her mask.
Yeah.
I'm almost finished. One last one. They pulled the medical information from the internet.
Yeah.
Drove me crazy.
Yeah.
You couldn't get any information.
Yeah.
So Fauci needs to be accountable. Please, I'm praying that they find a way to make him accountable. The one good thing I think that came of it is that instead of saying, "Oh, who do you think you're, an Einstein?" Now, if you say you think you're a Fauci, it's a total insult.
Yeah,
Good.
you're exactly right. What are you, some kind of Fauci over here? You're right, Cassandra. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's go to Jeff in Hickory. What's going on, Jeff?
This is Joe. Charlie, how you doing?
Doing good. What's up, Joe?
I ain't defending Fauci. He's the core reason for all of this with COVID. But you can go back and pull up the film. President Donald Trump, before he went out of office, he warned the governors all over the United States to open the country back up by March the 1st, no later than April the 1st. I heard him say it on TV. Mm-hmm. He said, you're going to have a major problem if you don't open this country back up. And then we had governors that put in nursing homes.
Yeah.
So I can't blame it all on Fauci, even though
but those governors were acting on Fauci's advice.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And remember when Cuomo was like, we need more ventilators in New York. We need more ventilators. And Donald Trump said, you got a whole warehouse full of ventilators. They were like, no, not those ventilators. What he meant to say was, we need more federal money so that we can pretend to buy ventilators.
That's right.
It was all a bunch of BS. I appreciate it, Joe. And the fact that they were putting COVID patients in nursing homes, then even Fauci said that the people that were put on ventilators, gosh, I still remember going to lunch with Presley Stutz. And 3 days later, it was like on a Monday or Tuesday, and then that weekend, that was like on a Wednesday or Thursday, and then that weekend, Presley Stutz went to the hospital for COVID. And when he announced that he was going on, he and his wife, when he was going on the ventilator, I was like, oh man. Fauci even came out and admitted that maybe they put people on ventilators that didn't need to be on a ventilator. They just need to be reoriented. Now, that's medical speak for we just needed to roll them over on their side. Fauci admitted that. So, yeah, absolutely right. Fauci, he was complicit in the deaths of a minimum hundreds of thousands of people. Charlie, let's see. Answer to your question about the sitting senator can do about affordability. The answer is for the Senate to get out of the way. Huh? There you go. But I don't know. I would like to know. We're running on affordability. What are you going to do about it? That's the question. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Streaming stimulating talk and breaking news on your phone 24/7 on the Odyssey app. You're on the drive with the Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Charlie Speaks. You listen on your time. Get the show on demand. Text podcast to 800-905-0989. The Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, let's go to the phones. We'll talk to Jamie in Belton. Jamie, welcome. How are you?
Hey, buddy. Good to talk to you again.
You too,
my
man.
friend.
What's happening?
Well, I know we're on this Fauci thing right here,
Yeah.
but I kind of want to skip a beat for a second.
Okay.
And I know there's probably going to be a lot of people out there that just agree with me. You know, with the thing in Iran, with negotiations and then ceasefire and then backup bombing and then ceasefire again, I don't wish no harm to the good people of Iran that are actually against their government for doing what they do, because they are who they are and they have a good heart, and the good Lord, I believe, has put that in them. But my biggest thing right now, dude, is, man, gas prices. And the way that I see gas prices going up, 20 cents, 30 cents, going back down, doing this, and it's still over $3 a gallon where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I live in Belton. You know, I mean, I like to see it around right now the 340 something era. But with all these negotiations going on, and I pray, and I'm a Christian, Charlie. I go to my church every Sunday, and I always pray. But I don't know if it's wrong for me to say this. Go ahead and just do what you got to do, Trump. If you've got to take them out and there's casualties, or if there's a way to get around that, tell the people to get out and go sanctify themselves somewhere, to get out of harm's way, to avoid collateral damage. That way our gas prices in America can come back down, because, I mean, that means food prices are up because diesel's up. And that's a trucking industry.
Yep.
And that's how
And farming and
move.
everything else, yeah.
It is, man. It's everything. I mean, like you say, yes, farming, because all the equipment they have on there, as far as their farms go, is diesel.
Yep.
And diesel is, man, I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's crazy. It is crazy. Jamie, I appreciate it. All right, let me explain to you what's going on in Iran. So Trump said he was ready to bomb the living snot out of Iran. Okay? Here's what happened. Saudi Arabia called up Donald Trump and several other of Iran's neighbors, and they called up Donald Trump and said, listen, you can't bomb Iran. You got to stop this. And Trump's like, what are you talking about? I'm going to bomb Iran. We're going to do it. It's going to be a big, beautiful Bobby. They were like, no, listen. If you start to bomb Iran, they're going to bomb us. They have already made threats against our oil infrastructure. And listen, without oil, what are those countries? I mean, think about it. In the Middle East, without oil, what are those countries? They're nothing but sandlots. So Saudi Arabia is the main one that's right now been in Trump's ear going, listen, if you bomb them, they're going to bomb us. And if you bomb them and they bomb us, you and us, we don't have any more agreements anymore. So now not only does Donald Trump have to try to come up with some agreement with the Iranian, the IRGC, or whoever the hell's running Iran right now, now he's got to also go over here and he's got to try to placate the Saudis. So what we would have to do is go in and not only do what we need to do in Iran, but also protect the Saudi oil fields, which we do anyway. So right now, we don't have a lot of support in the Middle East. Now, what's going to happen with this with these new talks? I have no idea. If history serves, nothing. But Jamie was right. We got to do something over there, or the midterms are gone. Let's go to Larry in Cleveland County. Larry, welcome.
Carl, how you doing today?
Real good, man. What's up?
Hey, listen, I was just thinking about what you said about Lindsey Graham's sister. How is a senator, if she makes it, which I pray she doesn't, how's a senator got any say on the price of eggs at Ingles? I don't understand that.
I don't either.
And and she wants that to become priority over national security. I think she's just doing it to try to get.
No, she didn't say she wanted to be a priority. She said she was going to concentrate on that. It's all the field of expertise, and she doesn't have any in foreign affairs.
Exactly, Charlie. I appreciate your time, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Larry. I appreciate it. And that was an admission on her part. I don't know enough about foreign affairs. Shouldn't you know a little bit? Let's go to Michael in Simpsonville. Michael, welcome.
Thank you. You brought up Fauci again, and I get tired of hearing him, actually. But since you brought it up, the first question I have is, was the pardon issued by the White House, signed by the Autopen,
right?
Possibly issued by the cabal in the White House with no knowledge of Biden? Is it valid and legal?
That is going to have to be adjudicated in the courts, and it just hasn't been yet.
Exactly. So, Fauci appears before a Senate committee not knowing whether that pardon is legal and valid or not. What would you expect him to do?
Yeah. But some people now say because he did take the fifth, that means he has rejected his pardon because a pardon has to be issued and accepted.
But if the pardon wasn't valid to begin with...
Well, he wasn't taking any chances.
Well, that's why his attorney probably counseled him to take the fifth.
But here's a guy that said, you put me in front of any congressional committee and I'll answer all their questions.
And that's true. But Rand Paul should have understood that. And the Department of Justice could have certainly issued some kind of deal with Fauci, an immunity deal to get him to answer questions.
Well, that was not the objective. They knew the answers to all the questions that he was asked because it was right there in his diary.
Yes, it was.
They knew the answers.
But because the pardon and its validity was not solved, what do you expect? Now, the Department of Justice could certainly turn around right now and indict him, take him to court, and the first issue is going to be, is his pardon valid?
So,
why haven't they done that?
Well, I don't know. Well, first of all, we're trying to get an attorney general that's actually been confirmed.
But you don't need an attorney general to be confirmed to file an indictment.
Okay. Well, I don't know what we're going to do then. You tell me, instead of all the questions, you give me the answers.
I don't know other than indict him and then test the validity of his pardon.
Oh, we'll see if that happens. I appreciate it, Michael. Let's go to Lou in Campobello. Lou, welcome.
Thank you. I just got a question for you.
Okay.
People are talking about the high gas prices, and it's affecting all of us. But here's my question for you. If you can go back to 2001, starting in January, and pay higher gas prices all through up to September 10th, would it have been worth it not to have September 11th?
Not sure I'm understanding that question.
Meaning, if we would have taken care of the issue back then, and it would have prevented 9/11, would the gas prices be worth it? Because if Iran got a nuclear weapon, what they would do
now I understand. Yeah, I get it. And gas prices are still now lower than they were under Biden.
So, I mean, when people complain about the gas prices, think about how your life would be if Iran had a nuke.
Yeah, it would be an absolute hell. I appreciate it. Thank you, Lou. We're going to hit a quick break. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour on The Charlie James Show. Afternoons 3 to 7 on News Talk 98.9
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Tap and type your message on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
800-905-0989. This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, let's go to the phones. We're going to talk to Gerald in Cowpens. Gerald, what's up, man?
Now, Charlie, the Saudis have a pretty good military. Instead of them sitting in a corner, sucking their thumbs, worrying about what Iran might do to them, why don't they go in there and bomb the hell out
I
of them?
agree. Take the initiative. Defend yourself. I mean, if not, could you imagine if Iran got a nuke, Saudi, you're always in danger. In fact, everybody in the Middle East is in danger. Let's go to Christina in Traveler's Rest. Christina, welcome.
Thank you. I don't know whether to address what Gerald and Cowpens was saying, because you know what I've said 15 times. Trump and J.D. Vance and Witkoff and all of them need to read the Quran. Anyway, what I wanted to address was this Darlene Graham saying her issue was affordability, and I agree with the guy earlier who said she's just using the buzzwords of the Democrats to attract their vote. So, but I hope that you were kidding when you said you didn't know what a senator could do about affordability. I hope you were kidding.
What can she do?
Well,
what power does she have?
Well, granted, revenue issues are in the House. You're right. But it needs to be said that during Biden administration, the $400 hotel rooms for years for the illegals in New York, what was it, 19 billion with a B of fraud that the Somalis did in Minnesota.
Right.
We did not have any of this money, like in Fort Knox or something. It was all printed up. So when you have year after year of printing up this money for either waste, like the $400 the hotel rooms, or total fraud, or just about $1 million salary of the head of DEI woman at USAID, we didn't have that money. It was printed up. So the printing up of this vast amounts of money, that is what caused the non-affordability. Exactly. That is exactly.
That was under. You're right. That was under Joe Biden. But what's she going to do to get prices down tomorrow?
Well, but there's still a lot. There's still a lot of fraud.
Well, that's what I want to know. I want to know what you're going to do about it. That was the question. What are you going to do about affordability? So, all right, Christina, I appreciate it. But here we got some more issues. This woman, let me see here, wrote a letter to the editor in the Carolina Courier. Her name is Patricia. She's from Union County. Want to skip down a couple of paragraphs in her op-ed that said, what bothered me is seeing so many politicians act like she should automatically get the Senate seat just because she's Lindsey Graham's sister. I don't have anything against her personally. She may be a wonderful lady, but having the right last name isn't enough. Being someone's sister isn't a reason to make them a United States senator. From Tim Scott to Alan Wilson to Nancy Mace to Donald Trump himself, the political class whom we elected now feel entitled to tell us who to vote for. This year we're celebrating 250 years since America broke away from a king. We don't hand public office down from one relative to another. That's not how this country was built. In fact, it's the antithesis of our way of life. We let the people decide. I read a line in a recent article that says a United States Senate seat is not a family heirloom, and I couldn't agree more. South Carolina has plenty of good Republicans who have worked hard, served their communities, and earned the respect of the people. Every one of them ought to have the same fair chance without those who have already passed through the crucible putting their fingers on the scale. I'll be paying close attention to this primary, and I hope other Republicans will too. I just hope we choose the person that earned the job, not who happened to be born into the right family. Yes, Patricia of Union County, you're exactly right. Exactly right. There's a lot of questions about Darlene Graham. They're only going to have an hour tonight on WHNS, Fox Carolina, for this debate. And we know that Darlene Graham is not asking or answering any questions from local media. Even Meg Kennard over at the South Carolina Associated Press, she's like, hey, you're not answering any questions. But there are a lot of questions to be asked. There's a commentary in the Post and Courier that argues that South Carolina voters deserve some answers before they decide whether interim Senator Darlene Graham deserves a full term. It focuses on a controversial land deal involving Fort Jackson. We'll tell you about that coming up next. Right here on this program is the Charlie James Show, News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of nonstop breaking news and stimulating talk jumpstarts every hour on the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9
WORD,
the voice of the Carolinas.
Chat with Charlie.
800-905-0989. Save it on your phone.
This is the Charlie James Show, only on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, let's go to the phones. We'll talk to Vinny in Boiling Springs. Vinny, how you doing?
Happy Monday to you there,
Yes,
Charlie.
sir.
How
Yes,
are you?
sir.
Good to hear your voice again.
Thank you.
My vote's going to be for Ralph Norman, but as far as Darlene, she was only supposed to be a placement, and that just tells me with the way they swooped it in and did the halls of justice talk out there to her, sent her back out, and we're going to have her run for. She don't have my vote. Common sense says all that. Ralph Norman I'm picking because he has a record behind him. My question to them for tomorrow when you go up is how fast and are you going to implement where President Trump wants all of our law enforcement and DOJ and ICE to be able to come in here and do their jobs.
Right.
Unrestricted. Okay. Are they going to stand with it? I want a mirrored senator that looks just like DeSantis. Well, not look like him. And I know a majority of them out there, it's going to be a tough pair of shoes to try to fill behind DeSantis. But that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be conservative and look out for the people. And once we're in office and get through all the hoopla BS that's going to hit them in the face when they walk in and start getting people, Graham may have her staff already ready, but they're already geared in a different direction.
Yeah,
So,
that's the thing, Vinny. Everybody's saying,
well,
she's got the staff behind her, but I'm not voting for a staff. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. So there is some issues with Darlene Graham, and it's some issues that they're not talking about. But over the Post and Courier, Bailey wrote this article, and according to his article, while serving on the South Carolina Jobs Economic Development Authority, called JEDA, Darlene Graham was part of a commission that approved a major land acquisition connected to Fort Jackson. Now, the problem here was that the project unraveled. In his article, Bailey says that taxpayers were left holding the bag after millions of dollars were spent acquiring land that ultimately wasn't used as intended. Bailey says the commission appeared to approve the deal with very little public scrutiny and very few hard questions being asked. So, if you're asking South Carolinians to trust you with a 6-year Senate term and with oversight of trillions of federal dollars, then your own record on oversight matters. One thing conservatives have been saying for years is that government agencies too often rubber stamp expensive projects without enough skepticism. Republicans talk constantly about accountability, transparency, and asking difficult questions before spending taxpayer money. So it's reasonable to ask, did anyone on that commission push back? Were warning signs ignored? Who benefited from the deal? And what lessons were learned? Bailey also argues that much of Senator Graham's time on the commission has received very little public attention until now. That's another reminder that campaign biographies usually highlight accomplishments, but voters should also examine management decisions and judgment calls. This race is going to feature a lot of television ads, a lot of speeches, but I hope voters out there are asking about records, not just rhetoric. If a conservative candidate had been involved in approving a multi-million-dollar government project that later fell apart, you can bet that the media would be demanding answers every single day. And the standards should be equal. It doesn't matter what party. South Carolinians deserve transparency. They deserve accountability. And before they hand someone 6 years in the United States Senate, they deserve complete answers about decisions involving taxpayer dollars. This was a huge debacle that really nobody even heard about. We're talking about wasting of millions of dollars. And she was on the commission that approved that whole deal. Is that going to come up tonight? No, it is not. If she wins the primary, do you think the Democrats are going to bring it up? Absolutely they are. 100%. They're going to bring that up. So we'll see what happens tonight in 1 hour and 6 minutes when this debate starts. See how it goes. But I don't, I'm just, the way that she has just been coronated. There's another poll out, and I'm going to give it to you at the top of the hour. Some of these poll numbers, you're like, how? How does this even, literally somebody that I will guarantee you, the vast majority of this audience, you've heard of everybody on that stage tonight. 2 months ago, you knew every one of those names except for one, Darlene Graham. When that ad came out, a lot of people didn't even realize that Lindsey Graham had a sister. But yet here she is. Not only is she the sitting Senate heir of South Carolina, she wants to be the first elected female senator for South Carolina. And I think a lot of women are going to vote for her for that reason alone. That reason alone. So we'll see what happens with all of that. Like I said, just about an hour and 5 minutes, 4 minutes until debate starts. When we get back, I'm going to break down some of these poll numbers for you. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
When he's not mowing his yard, he's mowing down liberal nonsense. It's the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Charlie.
Let's talk.
It's the right talk.
Charlie.
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, so we got less than an hour now until the debate starts tonight over on WHNS Fox Carolina. People have been asking if we're carrying it. Nope, that is a gray media deal, and they're kind of keeping that for themselves. But there was a new poll that came out, and this one is pretty darn thorough. It's from Coefficient, and one of the questions was, a lot of questions on this thing, but one of the questions was, if the August 11th special Republican primary for U.S. Senate were held today, who would you vote for? 30% said Darlene Graham. Russell Fry comes in at 16%. Ralph Norman, 15%. Mark Sanford, 9%. Mark Lynch at 6%. Everybody else has got 3% or less. Now, that's interesting. So it was still 20% undecided. So they asked those people, they were like, all right, you're undecided. We understand that. But who are you leaning towards? 17% of those people said Darlene Graham. 10% said Ralph Norman. Mark Sanford, 6%. Mark Lynch, 6%. Russell Fry, 6%. Still undecided, 49%. And I thought that was interesting. So then they asked them, they were like, all right, if you're voting for Darlene Graham, tell us why. 32% said because she was endorsed by Donald Trump. 32%. 25% said because she's Lindsey Graham's sister, which is an awesome reason. 16% said her qualifications, and 27% said they would not consider her at all. So then they asked, are you definitely going to vote for Darlene Graham? 33% said yes. 24% said probably. 27% said probably not. 17% said definitely not. So then you get down to Russell Fry. He's got a lot of yeses, a lot of probablys. Ralph Norman, the same thing, but it's just very interesting. Now, if the special Republican primary went into a runoff, who would you vote for between these two candidates? So you got Russell Fry, 40%. Darlene Graham, 31%. Undecided, 29%. So that was Fry and Graham on the ballot. So if it's Fry and Graham in the runoff, I mean, he walks away with this thing by 9 points. Go to Norman. Ralph Norman would actually, according to this, 40% said they would vote. And that's the thing about Ralph Norman's got to get his message out, man. Darlene Graham would beat Ralph Norman by 5 points. If it came down to Fry and Norman, 36% Fry, 28% Norman. So it's a very interesting poll there. But what gets me is the whole, well, let's just go back and look at the image. 40%. And again, this is one of those things where I go, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? 40% of Darlene Graham's 40% of the people rate Darlene Graham's image as favorable. 37% are unsure. But my question is, wait a minute, hold on. Of course, the majority of people think her, not the majority, but the majority of the respondents said that she's got a, that's all they painted her as favorable. She was the grieving sister. Of course. I mean, that's man, I'm telling you what, it's not the fact that we've got so little time between Lindsey Graham's funeral and a week from tomorrow. Think about that, a week from tomorrow. That's favoring her right now. That's favoring her in a big way. Big way. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Charlie, I'm voting Ralph Norman. Charlie, I remember when I was little, I asked my dad, who did you vote for? He said, son, two things never tell are who you vote for and how much money you make. Maybe we should go back to that method. Yeah, maybe so. Charlie, with this royal coronation attitude towards Graham, maybe we need to organize a No Queens rally. That'd be a good, you want to get together over on the bridge over there at Bridgeway Station and just no Queens, no Queens. Maybe we'd join the liberals over there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But again, elections are a week from tomorrow. That's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. So, Charlie, people need to stop and think who they want for Senate, and it should not be Lindsey Graham's sister. That's it's going to be real interesting. Extremely, and I can pretty much predict. I can predict exactly, with a pretty high degree of certainty, what this primary is going to look like. For some reason, I think that she's going to lose Greenville and Spartanburg counties. I don't believe Greenville and Spartanburg are going to vote for her. She's going to win over in York, might win Oconee, might win Pickens, probably. Because why? I mean, they voted for Lindsey Graham over Mark Lynch, right? So why wouldn't they vote for her? And she's definitely going to win the Low Country. So this is it's going to be an interesting race. It really is. Going to be exciting to see. So who's going to be in the runoff? We'll find out. I mean, these polls, you never know. You never know. You just kind of look at them. So anyway, I mean, we've seen how they were before. We saw how those things went. So tell you what, we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. Don't forget the debate coming up tonight. I'm recording it because I got some things to do when I get home. I don't want to miss it. It's going to be on Fox Carolina from 7 until 8. Again, this is only an hour-long debate. We got 5 candidates. How much time are they really going to get? Not very much. Let's see. Charlie, if you do a No Queens rally, you'll rile up the LGBTQ folks. Yeah, you're probably right. All right, we'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Streaming stimulating talk and breaking news on your phone 24/7 on the Odyssey app. You're on the drive with the Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas. fact on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
800-905-0989. Text or call. One number does it all.
800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Well, you got to admit that the team, and I'm talking about the campaign team behind Darlene Graham, they are on the ball. They're actually doing some push polling. And I just got this. Charlie, I received a survey. It asked who I would vote for and more questions about whether I would change my mind based on certain information. Then did a hit piece on everyone except Graham. Same poll you quoted. Questions clearly structured to get poll answers favorable to Mrs. Nordone. That's called a push poll. And that's what they're doing right now for Darlene Graham. So who are you voting for? I'm voting for Ralph Norman. What if there were negative information about Ralph Norman? Would you change your mind? What if recent news? And that's what they do. Now, it's disguised as a poll to get your opinion, but it's not. It's actually marketing to try to get you to change your mind. Let's go to Janice in Gastonia. Janice, welcome.
Hey, Charlie. I'm kind of calling off subject. I wanted to correct something I told you about the DNC taking a mortgage out.
Okay.
It turns out the building is valued at $15.2 million. However, they already have two mortgages against it. They was going for a third, and they could only get $2 million. So they asked their vendors to wait till after the midterms before sending their invoices in.
Wow. They're hurting. They're hurting bad. Did you notice that once USAID dried up, the Democrats are broke?
Yeah, that was the first thing that came out of my mouth when I started hearing all this. I told my husband, I said, "Yeah, their cash cow got eliminated." And I guess that's the only way you can cheat is to keep feeding it back to yourself.
You're exactly right. I appreciate it, Janice. Let's go to Terry in Spartanburg. Terry, welcome.
How are we doing today, Charlie?
I'm doing really good. What's up, man?
Hey, to get Miss Graham to tell her, hey, nobody in the upstate should vote for her unless she calls your show and maybe Terry's show and take 5 questions from each person.
That would be, and we're not the only ones saying that. Even, and I told you before, Meg Kennard over at the AP here in South Carolina, she's like, this woman's not answering any questions.
Correct.
So
that way there,
but
put
Terry,
her on the spot and say, hey, nobody should vote for her until she comes, calls in and asks questions.
There you go. I appreciate it, Terry. Thank you. We're going to have Russell Fry on tomorrow at 4:06. You definitely want to tune into that. But no, what does she do? She goes to Sean Hannity. Then she goes to Trey Gowdy. 2 of Lindsey Graham's buddies. Of course they're going to be for her. That so-called interview last night with Trey Gowdy was just disgusting. It really was. There wasn't a single substantive question asked. Talked about how she only buys steak when it's on sale. Well, welcome. Welcome to the world. Let's go to Doug in Simpsonville. Doug, welcome.
Hey, Charlie, I think earlier you were talking about what would be important questions to ask in this debate tonight.
Yeah.
Number one question I would ask of any of these people is, do you support changing the filibuster rules?
Yeah.
We got all these bills backed up, some of which, by the way, would have incremental effects on affordability. So are we going to try and put pressure on Thune or not? I'd really like to know where they come down on that.
Yeah, I would love that. I appreciate it, Doug. And like I said, what they ought to do is rename it the Senator Lindsey Graham Save America Act and dare these Republicans to vote against it. Dare them to do it. But we'll see. Now, something did happen. See, it is a weird thing. Some of these rhinos, they only fight when it hurts America. They only fight. Now, there was a bill. There's a weaponization fund. And what this would have done, it would have set aside federal dollars for people that said, hey, listen, the United States government was weaponized against me. The United States government was weaponized against my business. We want to file a lawsuit. So what this fund would do, I mean, you know, you look at some of the J6ers that went to jail for what? One guy went to jail for 30 years. He wasn't even in Washington, D.C. when it happened. Wasn't even there. So a lot of these people, and that was one of the big things. That was one of the big sticking points. It was January 6th. So John Cornyn and Tom Tillis, they got together and they said, as long as you've got the weaponization fund, we're not voting. We're not going to vote to advance Todd Blanche to be Attorney General. We're not going to do it. Well, the administration said, okay, we need our Attorney General. We're going to drop the weaponization fund. You see, they know how to fight. They know how to fight. They just won't do it when it comes to the Democrats. John Thune could do two things immediately. Number one, get rid of the Senate parliamentarian. Booter. That's an honorary position at best. And in fact, the Senate doesn't even need to take their advice. So get rid of that Biden appointee and get a good conservative Senate parliamentarian in there. That's an easy thing to do. Number two, go to all of these senators and say, listen, do you like your committee assignments? Well, if you like your committee assignments and you want to keep your committee assignments, then you need to vote for the Save America Act. And if you don't, I'm going to relegate you to the worst committees in Washington, the ones that have offices down in the basement. Oh, and by the way, your cushy little office, we're going to change that too. No more of that. There are a lot of things that can be done in Washington to get the votes, but John Thune does not want to do that because he knows one thing. If you pass the Save America Act, the MAGA voice gets louder. You pass the Save America Act, the MAGA voice gets bigger. The MAGA message gets bigger. Now, all of a sudden, that's your base. Not these milquetoast Chamber of Commerce Republicans, not these Bush-era Republicans. We're talking about the actual Make America Great Again Republicans, and that is one thing they don't want to happen. Let's go to Phil and Taylor's. Phil, welcome.
Hey, Charlie. How
Hey,
are you
bud.
doing?
I'm good, man.
This sympathy vote for Darlene, I agree with the other caller that unless she answers questions to you or Tara or anybody else, and we get to know where she stands on issues, I just hope people are smarter than that. Because Sean Hannity, she was grieving and everything. They said she couldn't answer questions. She spends 45 minutes on Sean Hannity, totally positive interview.
Yeah.
Craig Gowdy, same thing.
Yeah.
It was horrible. It was just horrible. It was very biased, you could see what they're doing. And I just hope people are smarter than that to not just have her just automatically just be put into this position. The other thing is John Thune. I don't understand why the Republicans or why hasn't Trump asked to have him vacated and to vote for a new speaker.
Yeah.
This is coming down to the wire. I don't understand. I called Senator Tim Scott's office. I called Thune's office. Thune, you get nothing but recorder. He's not answering any calls, probably not even recording the number of calls that are coming in on this issue.
Yeah.
So it's futile. I mean, as a citizen, it's futile to even attempt to approach these politicians to do the right thing. Tim Scott, he co-sponsored the bill, his office did say, but he is not too vocal. I don't hear him. And
No.
I wanted to know if he was going to go on recess, and they could not comment on that.
Yeah. Well, we know he is because there's only, a handful of Republicans that are calling for everybody to stay in Congress. You're right, Phil. Very disappointed in Tim Scott. And his election's coming up in 2028. We won't forget. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour, every afternoon on The Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Charlie Speaks. You listen on your time. Get the show on demand. Text podcast to 800-905-0989. The Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, welcome back to the program. Let's go to Robert in Mills River. What's going on, Robert?
I'm doing good, Charlie. How are you today?
I'm doing good, man. What's on your mind?
Well, I was thinking about how this election went down, and with her being put in there, and here she is leading, and she ain't done nothing. She ain't talked to nobody. It's really, what affects you all affects us here in North Carolina. Like I was telling JJ, I mean, you don't understand repercussions come from everything that happen around in politics, even up there in Maine. What the heck are they going to do?
Yeah.
It just makes you worry all over, but I worry for South Carolina because I don't believe she's got the skills and the ability to be a senator.
Yeah, well, maybe not.
way.
We'll see what happens. We'll see how. Well, tonight we're going to see in the debate. I think this. Boy, I tell you what, I will bet you that staff is kind of nervous tonight. I bet they have been working with her. There's been a tremendous amount of prep going on for this thing. And you got to wonder, what's going to happen. But we'll see. We'll see what happens tonight. But tomorrow, there are a lot of, we got some primaries in Kansas, Michigan, Missouri, Virginia, Washington. And communism literally is on the ballot. I mean, the Democrat Socialist of America, the socialist out there who admitted they want to win these races, and they might, especially that one coming up in Michigan. That guy, Al Sayed, he's leading in the polls there for the Democrats. I want you to listen to what Bill Maher said on his program, and he is absolutely right. Listen.
Again, let's just read the quotes. The DSA platform says you work as much as you are able and no more than needed. If that was any closer to Karl Marx's dictum, from each according to his abilities to each according to his needs, they'd be sued for plagiarism. New York Mayor Mamdani once tweeted Karl Marx's words exactly. They're not trying to hide it. Their most popular influencer, Hassan Piker, thinks communism is so groovy. He laments the fall of two of the most murderous regimes in history, the Soviet Union and Chairman Mao's China. Mamdani's aide, his top aide, Sia Weaver, said, if you don't believe in the government's sacred right to seize property, it's over, and impoverish the white middle class. What? That's a goal? You're supposed to scare people into voting for you, right? One of the new soon-to-be Democratic congresspeople, Darlisia Chevalier, supports seizing all properties from landlords and said, seize the means of production. Mamdani has said the end goal is seizing the means of production. I think they want to seize the means of production. Now, maybe you missed that in school or missed school altogether, but that's communism.
That is communism. That is absolutely communism. So in New York, Mayor Mamdani, the guy that says we need to seize the production, he has got this idea of city-run grocery stores. All right? So they're not really full, like they're not like you go into Ingles or something like that, and you see those big wide aisles and you see everything. They're kind of like bodegas, smaller grocery stores. It costs a bunch of money, taxpayer money to build. But they're going to start giving food out once a month. Certain food items are going to be 30% discounted. 30%. So some people were wondering, hey, what if some people from New Jersey come over here and buy all that stuff over there and start selling it on the black market? Well, don't you worry. Mamdani, he's got a plan to stop that.
How are you going to keep people from taking advantage of that, that
deal, basically, and is there going to be a limit on the number of items that someone can take that are discounted at that level from that essential basket?
So our RFP makes very clear that this is a program for New Yorkers to be able to put food on the table, not a program for people to be able to make a quick buck through reselling. I'm going to pass it over to our EDC head, G-Pack, to add some additional details.
Yes, if you look at our RFP for the operator, we are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing, and also we manage who's buying, and that is focused on everyday New Yorkers. So we are mindful of that, and so we're going to make sure that we have all the things in place to ensure that that does not happen.
All right, let's take a look. What are you going to do now again? Just what are you going? What's the plan?
We are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing.
I'm sorry, a what?
New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing.
A library card-esque thing. In other words, you're going to have to show ID. Oh, not to vote. Not to vote. You're going to have to show ID to buy groceries. So wait a minute. You're telling me, hold on. You're telling me if I'm in New York, and I'm near one of these city-run grocery stores, I can't go in and buy groceries? Wait. Is that what you're telling me? That if I'm from New Jersey and I'm visiting New York and I go in, I say, man, I'm craving a banana right now. I'm going to go in and grab me a banana. Give me one too. All right, I'm going to get a couple of bananas. I'm going to go in there, and then all of a sudden they're going to deny me because I don't have the right identification? Is that what you're telling me? You bigots. You absolute bigots. It reminds me of when Kramer got banned from his grocery store in New York on Seinfeld. Let's go to Phil in Woodruff. Phil, welcome. Phil, are you there?
I think it's Tim.
Okay, Tim, what's going on?
Hey, I was just going to let you know that you said that Darlene Nardon's team was nervous tonight. Oh, are they not nervous? The fix is in, brother.
It might be. It does seem to be that way, doesn't it?
And I'm going to tell you something. The most in-depth question she'll be asked tonight is the color of the drapes she wants in her office.
You know what? If history is any indicator, you're probably right. I appreciate it, Tim. Thank you. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
This is Mark Levin. Join me tonight at 7 following Charlie James for the Mark Levin Show, a News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Let your fingers do the talking.
Text the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line at 800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, welcome back to the program. Let's go to Richard in Dallas. How you doing, Richard?
Hey, Charlie, I'm great, man.
Good,
I
good.
hope you are.
Yes, sir. What's up?
Hey, I believe the only way that Darlene lady is going to sound intelligent at all, if possible, is that her team are going to have her wired to where they can answer questions for her, Charlie, while she got long hair and a woman. She can hide the little speaker in her ear real easy. And I don't think she knows diddly squat about diddly squat.
It's going to be so interesting to hear how she answers these questions tonight.
Just pay attention to that. Is all
Yeah.
I'm saying. I think she's really going to have some help answering these questions.
But we'll
'Cause
see.
Unless she studied and studied and studied while Lindsey was a senator, that's the only thing I think. And we'll see how she does.
We'll see. We'll see in
Thank you,
just a
Charlie.
few minutes. I appreciate it, Richard. Roger is in Taylor's. What's going on, my man?
Mr. Charlie.
Yes, sir.
Affordability. There is one thing that they can do to help this affordability issue,
Right.
and is to quit spending so dang much money. Every dollar we borrow makes our dollar worth less money.
Yeah.
Now, Darlene, I don't think she knows that, and they may not have told her that. But I think if that comes up, you will hear Ralph Norman. He runs it in his ad.
Yeah.
The more they're spending money like drunken sailors, and it's got to stop. And it's we've got to keep giving money to people. We waste so much money.
Oh, absolutely.
It's criminal.
And it's
criminal.
fraud. It is. You're exactly right. It is criminal. We're having to borrow to pay the interest on the debt. Think about
and
that.
I think earlier today, somebody brought up the Social Security. Y'all were talking about Social Security. Put it in the trust fund. Charlie, we're giving Social Security money. We're giving $2,000 plus, maybe even $5,000 to illegals. When you've got people that's worked 40 and 50 years here and paid in all those years, that they're getting less than $1,500 a month.
Yeah,
that's sickening.
It is sickening.
That is criminal.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It is, and they need to do something about that. But see, Roger, we would have enough money for all the Social Security recipients if we just kicked everybody that didn't deserve it off the rolls.
Charlie, I joke around and say it's my turn. You know what? If I was to be in Washington would kick me out.
Yeah. I understand. You and me both, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So we've got the big debate coming up in just a few minutes. I can't wait to see now the 5 people on stage. So you got Darlene Graham, you got Ralph Norman, you got Russell Fry, you got Mark Lynch, and you got Mark Sanford. They are on the stage tonight. 1 hour debate. It's like this is the world we live in now. You are not really going to get a whole lot of substance tonight out of this debate. You're just not. This is going to be a debate about sound bites and 15-second blips. That's what we're looking at. This is what it is. This is going to be a TikTok debate. It's going to be a TikTok debate. It's going to be a TikTok Reels debate. That's it. That's all they're going to do. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Again, I don't think you're going to be much more informed tomorrow than you are right now. But we will find out, because we will certainly talk about that tonight's debate tomorrow on the program. I know for a fact Tara's going to be talking about it on her show first thing in the morning. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all get out there and make it a great evening. God bless. Buckle up. Bye, y'all.